Good afternoon. I am Reverend Jasmine Beach-Ferrara. I'm the Executive Director of the Campaign for Southern Equality. I'm also an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ and a former Division I women's collegiate athlete in a nationally ranked program. Let me be crystal clear. The sports ban under debate is rooted in animus against transgender children and cloaked in deceptive arguments. It is part of a coordinated national strategy to target transgender youth, not a legitimate policy response to a real issue in South Carolina. For the past decade, I have had the honor of working shoulder to shoulder with LGBTQ people and families all across the state. Whether over kitchen table conversations or meetings in church basements or testimony on a rainy morning before a subcommittee, we have heard stories of hope and stories of pain in our journey to full equality. Laws have a teaching effect in our country, and as long as any law targets transgender youth for exclusion, it casts a long shadow of animus and judgment. But the realities of our lives defy the constraints of the cruelest laws. We see that in the bravery of a child who shows up to school and practice every day and holds their heads high despite the slurs. We see LGBTQ youth coming out in greater numbers and their families increasingly standing by them with love, not abandoning them. The irrefutable truth under the law and in God's eyes is that LGBTQ youth in South Carolina and everywhere are equal. There is no greater measure of who a people and a nation are than how we treat our children. And right now, the alarm bells are ringing from South Carolina to Texas to Florida. Rather than protecting children, there is a coordinated political effort to target and exclude them. We are seeing an unprecedented attack on transgender youth across the country, and we stand here to say, not on our watch. Not on our watch. The laws that South Carolina is now debating, the laws and policies we are seeing passed and under consideration in states all across the country are all of the same cloth and part of the same coordinated extremist effort to target youth in our community. But the reality is that no law can overwrite the truth of God's creation, which is that LGBTQ people are whole, beautiful, and an essential part of the human family. We are here today, and we will be back every single day that it is required to ensure that the laws of South Carolina reflect the protections of our Constitution and this basic human truth. I know, because I have seen it happen again and again, and because my faith teaches me that it is so, that people change, communities change, and laws change, and that is exactly what we will make happen here in South Carolina. As someone for whom girls and women's sports were an important part of my childhood, high school, and collegiate experiences, let me say as clearly as possible, I would have been honored to compete and win alongside transgender teammates. It is time for South Carolina to be a place where LGBTQ youth and every single child across the state has an equal opportunity to unlock their potential and thrive in sports and in every single part of life. Thank you so much. This concludes our remarks. Speakers will be available for media interviews afterwards.